Hey everyone. So the topic of work comes up a lot. It's a regular part of conversation. Another one would be family, recreation. What do you do for fun? What do you do for work? So here's something that went down for me just now. This was offline, but this also happens online as well. And it's especially good in any kind of real-time conversation, whether it's a chat back and forth in Facebook Messenger or a conversation offline, or I suppose the phone too if you use the phone. So here's what happened. Somebody just asked me, so what do you do for work? And I said, well, I've got a network marketing business and health and fitness that I'll do online on Facebook. And now either the person is going to be curious or they're not going to be curious, but anytime they're curious, they're almost always going to ask, so network marketing, what is that? And so in this particular instance, what I said was, um, well, I'll just give you some examples because I don't know how to describe it. And then I gave some examples. I named like Mary Kay, Unique, Young Living, Amway, Shackley, and she's like, okay, I got it. Yeah, I've always wondered about those kinds of things, but I'm always so skeptical, and I never know if the claims are exaggerated or not. And then at that point, I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. And honestly, one of the only reasons I got into this one was the fact that I was dating somebody who was already doing it. And I actually waited a few months and I saw she started getting paid really. And right away, she knew exactly where I was going with that. I just wanted to wait and see if it was going to work out for her or not before I signed up. And it's like, yeah, exactly. So 3 months later, I signed up, and that was 12 and a half years ago. And at that point, she was like, wow, that's really interesting. Because another thing I always worry about is these companies, are they just trends? Are they going to come and go? And she started asking, what's the name of my company? And I told her it's Beachbody. She's like, oh, okay. I've heard of that one before. So instead of a pill, they're actually selling a lifestyle, right? So that's pretty cool. So then that started solving the concern of, are they going to be here a year from now, 10 years from now? Obviously, it's pretty stable and rock solid. And so from there, she took down my info, my Facebook info, and stuff like that, and we'll reconnect on Facebook about it. So that's how that went down. And I know a lot of conventional wisdom in our field says, don't say it's network marketing. And I don't know, maybe sometimes that's appropriate. Other times I just like to throw it out there so that they ask the question, what is that? Because odds are if you say network marketing and they have any curiosity, they're going to ask what it is because they don't really know. And at that point, you can just start naming off, different company names that everybody has heard of instead of explaining what it is. I think if we try to explain what it is, our ship is sunk. And even if we do a really great job at it, it's not going to duplicate if that person gets in anyway. So instead of that, I just named some different companies. And then, from there, a number of concerns could come up, but the big one is going to be just overall skepticism. And so right away, that's the setup for the next reply is going to be to relate, yeah, I know what you mean. I feel the same way. And I knew somebody personally that was having some success, so that meant more to me than any infomercial from people I don't know, right? And all of you coaches, you can say the same thing. You signed up with somebody that you know, if it's me or somebody else. So you can have the same conversation, this fluency with anybody out there whenever the topic matter of work comes up. So this is one of many ways you could flow down that conversation when work comes up. So I would say something that would invoke a question, provided I'm talking to a curious person, which would invoke me to say something else to invoke another question of curiosity. And that's I led the conversation that way by just invoking curiosity first by saying, oh, for work, I'm in a network marketing company in health and fitness. And then what is network marketing? Because most people don't know what it is. The ones that are curious will just ask. They don't know what it is. So I set up that question for them to ask. And then from there, instead of describing it, I'll just name off some other common ones that they've heard of. And then from there, the most common thing so I set up the skepticism part for them to voice skepticism when I name off the other network marketing companies that they might have heard of. So then I set up the skepticism, and they'll say they're skeptic in one way or another. And then I relate to the skepticism. And by relating to the skepticism with my response, yeah, I know what you mean. I was there, but I got in because I actually knew somebody and I trust the person I know way more than an infomercial. Then at that point, you create the setup for them to be curious about what you do, because maybe this is going to be something different than they've seen about other questionable things on infomercials. And at that point, now it becomes appropriate to where you can offer your contact, and more than likely they're going to be, yeah, okay, let's exchange contact info, let's follow up with each other. and you can start offering to show them some information or maybe ask them about their goals or whatever is appropriate at that moment. So that's the general flow of how that goes down. That's one way of doing it. Seems to work pretty well. I have no problem developing leads and sincerely interested person. So I hope that helps you out, and feel free to share this with your teams, tag people in it, and get the conversations rolling with people, and so that you can share this with more and we all build our businesses together. Bye for now.